Welcome everyone then to the first game of the series. We're going to be switching Capoch over to the red color. Not to have green on blue, which is too low contrast. Not to mention to have green on green terrain, right? And we're going to catch up. We're going to X very slightly. Fast forwarding just to be completely live over here. Although I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference other than if you're just watching this on two streams at the same time. Otherwise, you're just going to compensate for jumping into this one a little bit later by jumping into the next one a little bit earlier. Regardless though, Hera, he's playing with Mongols, and Mongols is a civilization I was talking about. I said they were going to be very good on a map like this, and certainly one of the options for Hera, one of the more viable options. Because how much hunting is available around, you're starting to see on this map. Mongols are absolutely fantastic, and then on top of that, going out to the fuel age faster allows you to go for the dock or for the aggression earlier, not for the dock, but going for navy units earlier compared to your opponents. That can have a myriad of implications. You can go for a defensive dock and just go for navy to protect your fishing ships. You can send a sneaky villager forward like this, and then you can go up to the fuel age very early, like Hera is going to do right now, going up on 14 population. Hera is going up on freaking 14 population, and he's gonna try and get the navy out. And he knows where the dock is from Capoch, so he's going as close as possible so that he can reduce the time it takes for his navy to come out and start harassing Capoch's water economy. So yeah, and now that he's got into the fuel age, notice that he was even trying to make use of the scout to snipe a villager, since Capoch is still very much in the dark age and hadn't even gone for Loom yet, right? So this was kind of awkward. Fire galleys coming out now for Hera, and yeah, we didn't even introduce the civilizations this game, but I guess it's going to be sufficient introduction for Hera. Just the fact that he's able to get himself in this position is going to be all you need to know about Mongols on this map. Capoch, on the other hand, he's got a civilization with faster attacking fire galleys, which is beautiful, but of course you do need to get to the fuel age for that first, and Hera's doing a really good job over here. He probably would have been fine just sticking to one fire galley. He would probably have been able to take all the fish ships down, or at the very least keep them idle forever, but he's going for two. And this is good because by the time Capoch gets to the fuel age, if it's going to be only 1 versus 1, right, that's going to favor the Byzantine player. So if he can get 2 already out, take advantage of the head start. He's gone to the fuel age, and that is a beautiful villager pick from Hera. And that's exactly how you prevent the villager from getting the quick walls up, by the way. Capoch kind of messed up a little bit, but also Hera did the best he could to try and prevent the walls from coming up. But yeah, if you can take advantage of the head start, you have gotten to the fuel age. In Hera's position, you can not only take the fishing ships down earlier, but you can also prevent your opponent from catching up by going for a single fire galley themselves. You can potentially take the dock down right as well, right? And one thing that I do have to say about Hera though is that I'm not the biggest fan of this being so all in. It kind of has to work because he does not have any fishing economy himself, so he needs to take Capoch's down and ideally start going for his own forward, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Meanwhile, Capoch is going for his own fire galley. He's got only 1 kill out for the time being, but he does have another dock on the right hand side, so he's going for fishing ships here. And we take a look at Capoch's point of view. He has scouted for the most part the shoreline, or the entirety of the shoreline from here, and he's probably aware that the blue player does not have a dock back home, so it would be a fantastic position for Hera to go for a dock right now and try to push Capoch away from here, right? He already knows about this one. He already knows about the fishing ships coming out. Castle is gonna be on the way for Hera very soon as well. This is incredible to see from the Canadian in not something that I was necessarily expecting. Obviously, you expect the Mongols to be faster to the field age, right? But 14 population, forward dock, nothing on the back. It's certainly coming in calculated, pre-planned from Hera over here, and it's actually worked really well. And notice that he's got the hill advantage over there. He's going to take this countdown from Capoch and everything that could go well for Hera is going well for him. He's got a 4th fire galley coming up just in time. Clutch right there. He's going to sacrifice one fishing ship in lieu of getting a better engagement against Capoch's defensive units. And Capoch is going to try to go for yet another fire galley, but Hera's not going to drop the ball over here. He's going to go for some fire galley as well, the additional one. And this is in addition to him going after the castle age. So Hera has put himself in a beautiful spot. And Capoch, well, Capoch is getting away with some economy over here on the back of Hera's base. He's going for extra fishing ships, but of course, at this point, with 2 fishing ships total for Capoch, he is still just trying to catch up, right? Just trying to replenish the units that he had lost earlier to Hera's push in the first place. So those are extra resources Capoch needs to invest. And while he did go up to the fuel age on a stronger economy, you could say that that extra economy is kind of irrelevant at this point already, because of the fact that he has to invest the resources into just replenishing what he had gone for earlier. Again, fantastic position for Hera. Still gets the fire galleys down. Try and take the dock. Meanwhile, back home, he's going for yet another dock that's going to be to push Capoch away. And Capoch knows about this one coming up already, but Hera, he's already got into the castle age, so he could potentially go for the war galley upgrade, and that's going to make it so much harder for Capoch to keep on defending on water. However, Hera is thinking of step lancers. He's thinking of point boys. He's thinking of point the horses. And I'm not talking about Ginny Taurus here, I'm talking about the Step Lancers, and here comes Hera. Unleashing his units as Capoch sees Hera get to the castle age. He's just going to... Capoch is going to go for the walls up. And he'll see himself safe for the time being. We'll see. His villager snipe. Beautiful. But still, Hera should be the one in a much better position. He already knows about the stock, so he's going to need to keep on going for extra units himself and try and take this one down. Meanwhile, on the right hand side, he is going for fire galleys. He's got the step lancers and he's going to take the villager down. He should be able to if he's paying attention. He can target the villager already. This step lancer is already going to target it. Otherwise, he can come in between both these palisades from the center and strike the villager through the palisades. He's not going for it yet. It's kind of interesting though. Hera's not really taking advantage of the castle age too much. He's not gone for the war galley upgrade. And while I do like to see the step lancers, and they've been extremely effective as a unit the last couple months or so, he's not really taking advantage of them. He's not taking the villagers down. He's not going forward. He's not trying to raid with them at all. He's not collecting any stone either, so we won't see any extra TCs or a castle coming up anytime soon. And instead, wheelbarrows on the way for Hera. Alright. The stock, it's going down from Capoch very soon if he doesn't get a good trade over here. Hera He's going for the War Galley upgrade though. This is coming in clutch. Demolition Raft coming out from Capoch will allow him to take a much better trade over here. However, Hera is going for the War Galley upgrade. It's 10 seconds away from it. The Demolition Raft is coming up earlier though. And will Capoch already unleash everything? He's going to! And... oh, the shot came in just as War Galley finished researching for Hera. Damn! There we go. In the north, we'll see Capoch go for 2 additional TCs and Hera. I mean, yeah, he's gotten to the castle lich earlier, but he hasn't really gotten too much to show for it. He's got the War Galley upgrade, sure, but Capoch is going for it as well. He has come out on top in the engagement up in the north, and he's got enough unit garrison over here that he should be able to push Hera down. And then on the right hand side, Capoch is still collecting fish, while Hera might have cleaned up all the military units, all the navy units from Capoch on the right hand side. He's not really tried to punish the blue player, the red player yet, but he's going for it now. He's sending the fire ships, and the second TC is finally on the way for Hera. This is a knee-jerk reaction to Capoch getting to the castle lich himself. Hera's like, oh crap, I haven't really gotten anything done with the castle lich myself. I should probably try and do that. So he's got the TC right there. Nice shot from Hera though. Cleans out Capoch in the end. That probably shouldn't have gone that way necessarily. And then on the right hand side, yeah, on the right hand side it's going in favor of Hera as well. He's been able to hold on. It's gonna be good. Trying to break through, he cannot do it. Capoch's reaction over here is fantastic. And while the red player did get the extra TCs up as well, he doesn't really have much to show for his economy either. He's got only 5 farmers. No fishing ships anymore. As a matter of fact, yeah, that's going to be the 6th farmer coming in, and you know, Capoch is actually unable to make use of the extra TC, so while Hera's reaction over here might have been a little bit later compared to Capoch's, the extra TCs, he's actually looking stronger. He is able to keep production going from both the TCs. And not only that, if you take a look at the economy, Hera is the only player right now with a food production surplus. So he can produce more food than what it takes for him to saturate the TCs, which means that he's going to be 7 resource towards going out to the Imperial Age. But I'm making a transition to stone miners as well. There we are. And Capoch is not giving up on the water on the right hand side. This is just going to keep on consuming resources from Capoch. Is already on a smaller economy, so I cannot imagine Hera being too upset about this. It's not like he was going for water economy whatsoever on the right hand side. That was Capoch's business, right? So long as Hera is at the very least able to prevent Capoch from going for economy over here once again, or at the very least is able to keep forcing Capoch into extra investment on water on the right hand side, then he should be in a better position. Hera with the first player to go up to the Imperial Age by a lot. And Capoch's got enough stone to go for a defensive castle. He was waiting. He was patiently assessing the situation over here, and he was just waiting to see where Hera was going to push from and to see if he was going to be able to breach through before going for a defensive castle, because the resources are there. Alternatively, Capoch could go for a forward push, but he's got the Byzantines over here. He's got a defensive castle coming up instead. Yes, did not have any units to protect. A potential forward castle. Here we are. Too much out of TC time for Capoch compared to Hera? Yeah, that also counts from Capoch getting the TCs up much earlier compared to Hera and being unable to queue those up. So a lot of this, like by the time Hera went for the second TC, Capoch already had racked up 7 minutes of idle TC time or so. Or close to it. So that was just byproduct of Capoch's meager economy, right? And his inability to actually use the extra TCs, but at this point, with Hera having 4 TCs and Capoch being on 3 TCs and finally able to keep TCs working, the idle TC time difference between both these players is actually a lot rougher for Capoch to justify, let's say. Really just on the way for Hera as expected much earlier compared to Capoch. What I was not really expecting though was Capoch to actually have an economy strong enough to click out to the Imperial Age himself anytime soon. And he's got a strong enough economy, all he needs is to use the market. If he does so, he's on his way to the Imperial Age as well. And Hera's got the first castle up. He's got almost enough stone to go for a second castle. Capoch's got almost enough stone, actually a little bit more than enough stone to go for a second castle himself. And he's going to try to go forward, but it looks of it, he's bringing the villagers over, he's bringing the monk for vision. And where is he going for the castle? He's going for the castle in the middle of nowhere on the left-hand side. Does he know about the TC from Hera? I don't think he does. I don't think he knows about it. No. And now he sees the Mangolite coming over. So now the villagers need to turn around, do an about face over here on the castle. And Hera, yeah, Hera is in a very, very good position. Capoch must struggle big time for game number 1. And it seems to me, given the home maps that we had, but this is probably going to be the case for Capoch throughout the series, right? He's got Cross for his home map. And no, wait. Yeah, that's it, right? And then Hera's got Arena for his home map. So what will Capoch do on Arena? What will Capoch do on Cross? Regardless though, we're just gonna be here for Hera in 20 seconds. Capoch is still a minute away from it, so it's an over 40-second head start for Hera to the Imperial Age. He's got a second castle coming up exactly where Capoch wanted to get the forward castle up himself. And the Imperial Age is here, so we need the trebuchets, and he's going for conscription first. He's got the trebuchet coming up from the right-hand side castle, and because Capoch is much later to the Imperial Age, Hera will actually have enough time to go for conscription and get the first trebuchet out before Capoch is ever able to go for his own trebuchets. I'd love to see Hera trying to retake or to resume pressure on the house that he weakened earlier into the game. Might actually be able to come in. Yeah, you know what? Might actually be able to come in. Ah, there we go. That's a good reaction from Capoch. still low. House Foundation, 31 only. I think it's coming in. I think Hera's coming in. Capoch. Got the monk coming over. And he's probably going to end up getting a conversion over there. We'll see. He's trying to target the Steppe Lancer. And that's going to be enough for Capoch to push Hera's entire army away. But here come the trebuchets. And this is what we were talking about. Where's the second trebuchet from Hera? He does have the second one marching through the front of his base straight to the hill to the right hand side. And if there's one thing that Capoch is going to be glad about upon seeing the trebuchets from Hera is the fact that he's playing the Byzantines and his castles are so freaking resilient. Their castle on the way now for Hera. Capoch, 2 castles only. A lot of stables on the way for Hera. Let's get a chemistry. These stables, they gotta be for Hazar. You take a look at the food count from Hera and there is no other explanation. And this is one of the things that Hera really loves to do the most. And one of the things that he's really the best at in the game. In the entire community, I can think of less than 5 players perhaps who are as good at late game Hazar raids as Hera is. Capoch, which is going to be exposed very soon, of course. Hera. He cannot take the castles from where he was striking before. Instead, he's just going to try and knock the stable down and come in with the Hazar once he gets the upgrades. He's got Scale Barden right now, Forging. He's going for everything first. Kind of playing this as if it was Arena a little bit, or maybe Fortress even, more accurately, or Black Forest. Where he's going for all the upgrades before he goes for the units, as opposed to the other way around, which he would usually go for in open maps. But yeah, he's taking his sweet time. Like cavalry on the way now. He's got +1 attack on the way still. He's got +1/+1 defense only, so not too much. Now I would imagine his production curve over here got kind of rushed a little bit by the pressure from Capoch. Another castle coming up right away for Hera! Yes, and he's going after the trebuchets. He's got the Mangudai. He's got the light cavalry taking the trebuchets down right away. 800 resources down the drain right there for Mr. Capoch. And this trebuchet is also going down. If he does not move away, he's just going to unpack this in the worst possible spot, right in front of the Mangudai. So he gets another loss over there. That's going to be 1200 resources down the drain total for Capoch so far because of the trebuchets. Kills one brave, Trev. Let's call it brave, yes. And that's another castle going out for Capoch. And there is one thing that the Byzantines have given him though, is just the resilience, right? He's like not been under threat from the trebuchets of Hera for a very long time, precisely because of the extra HP of the castles over there. Otherwise, any other civilization probably already would have gotten breached through and would have gotten raided to death by Hera's Hazar now that he's got the upgrade. But the castles here, in any case, delayed the scenario for Capoch. However, Hera's still looking very, very strong. Seems like he's finally going to end up taking one of the castles down. The really's got 2 trebuchets targeting this one, and we have only like 6 villagers repairing this. Yeah. Eventually, the castle's going down, and Hera's gonna be able to come in from the right-hand side. And that is actually the better castle for Hera to take down as well. And this is something that he assessed in real time, like on the spot. Which castle does he want to take down? And he wants to take down this one because the closest to the economy, and if you take a look at the range, it's providing some protection to the farmers in addition to the TC range as well. This allows Capoch to hold on a little bit better, right? But without a castle, now Hera can come in and there is no castle for him to worry about on his way to the back out. Capoch to the soft underbelly of the Argentinian, as now we see Hera trying to gear up his push. He's got a lot of Hussar. The Mango there here as well, and he's going to clean out the units from Capoch first before going for the raid. So because Capoch does not even have enough housing space, he cannot even replenish the units that he's been losing. So now here comes Hera. He's gonna try and take the Arbalisters down. He's gonna try and spin a few of his units out into the back of Capoch's economy, and this can be absolutely deadly for Capoch. Hera, not to be the one to send the units forward and forget about them. We'll keep control of these units for the most part. Yeah, and yeah, you see, like over here, we see the piping approach from Capoch, and any other player would probably have just let that one Hussar die, but Hera's trying to maximize the value of his units, so just going to try and keep them alive, away from the pikemen, and close to explosive coming. It's really just Hera offering to solve Capoch's housing crisis. Seems about right. Here we go. Beautiful. Castle's gone down. So we have 2 castles left from Capoch. 1 next to the TC. It's going to be the only defensive fortification he's got left. Oh, but check this out though! Hera, my lord! He spotted Capoch and he's going for a little bit of a pan for these villagers. With some stables coming out, we'll see some Hussar come in, and Capoch is bound to lose all these villagers. Now he's going to realize about it. Oh, it's open! It's open! He actually could have walked away from the left-hand side, as a matter of fact. And even it seems like the foundation of the stable on the right-hand side was weak enough for him to breach through, so he's going to walk away anyway. But that was a very nice play to see from Hera, and those are the little tidbits of, you know, the little fantasy plays that are always appreciated. In a sense, not so much fantasy play over here as much as a just very smart play from Hera overall. It just happens to look like a fantasy play, but regardless, has very little significance, if any, in the current situation. Like, what is Capoch going to do to stop this push? That castle? Castle's crumbling, we know that for sure. With the hail advantage, the trebuchets do largely offset for the extra HP the castles get. So in the end, the castle was going to go down, Capoch was going to crumble, and he was already crumbling. He's been struggling throughout the series, throughout the game rather. So he goes on and taps out, calls the GG, and Hera takes game number 1. Let's take a look at the achievements. We'll have a better KD for Hera, approaching 5 to 4. We'll see for economy, a stronger economy for Hera as well, collecting about 22,000 extra resources. An incredible 44% lead over Capoch. And for society, we have a much better, actually 40% extra economy, I think. But yeah, for society, we have a much better stat for Hera, with villager max count being significantly higher compared to Capoch. The villager losses being significantly lower compared to Capoch's villager losses, and overall an incredible performance from the Canadian. Let's go back and cross the civilizations out. So this was Mongols versus the Byzantines, right? And this took place on Scandinavia. So game number 2 is going to take place on Cross, Capoch's home map. We still have, for Hera, the Gujaras, we have the Portuguese. The Portuguese might be the play over here. I'd be surprised if we saw Chinese. The only way that I would see Hera actually get away with the Chinese pick and cross if he just completely ignored water and tried to go for full land push. Could do the same for, you know, for that map, for with the Gujaras potentially as well. Could be something to look or to consider. And Capoch's got Lithuanians, he's got Japanese and Malay. You can use any of those civilizations. Realistically, you can potentially even use Bengalis if you wanted to on cross. Then he would have Malay or Lithuanians for arena. If he used Lithuanians or Malay or Japanese on cross, he would have Bengalis on arena as well. Like the 4 civilizations he's got left, except for the Japanese, they are going to work pretty well on either map. They would probably expect Bengalis on arena, right? So maybe the Japanese and cross. Because the only question is, will Capoch get 1 game? That is a good question. I think that's probably populating most people's minds right now. And given the civilizations we have right now, I think if Capoch is to get a game, he's most likely than not going to get a game in game number 2. Let's see, there's a lobby. Not yet. I remember the first season of T90 Titans League. I did not cast any of it. I did not keep up with it whatsoever. Because of something else taking place at the same time. I don't remember which other tournament was happening at the same time during the weekends. It was the RMS Cup, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was the RMS Cup too. And yeah, I was just focusing on that one, so I was not casting any of TTL. I spent so much freaking time. Hera vs Miguel directly afterwards? Yes. Spent so much freaking time working on production for the RMS Cup 2. In the end, I was unable to take advantage of it. So you guys know, I wasn't able to cast the semifinals. My very first S tier tournament, wasn't able to freaking cast it. But yeah. We'll see. We'll see what we got. Regardless, the lobby's there. Yes. So the game is coming up in a moment. What series from today were you looking forward to the most? I would say between Hera Capoch, Hera Miguel, and Draken versus MBL. I'd probably say Draken versus MBL. You know what? I'm actually not too sure anymore. If file was just dropped without any context and saw today's schedule, I would say, yeah, probably Hera versus Capoch is going to be the highlight series of the day, but we have seen already that Hera is on point. At the very least, in game number 1, he made it look like 2 very, very uneven players, but I guess we'll find out. Maybe in game number 2, Capoch is going to be able to equalize it. We'll see. Let's go for it though, guys. Game's coming up. And there we are. Completely live. Hey, Hardcore Massive. Hi, welcome back. Welcome back. I hope everything's going alright for you. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What do you do? I just spent the weekend working, as usual. Dude, I haven't had a day off since such a long time. Actually, that is not true. Hold on. I think I did take the previous weekend before that off. Or at the very least 1 day, was it? I can't remember anymore. I'm very lucky in the sense that every day I wake up thinking of what I'm going to do in the day and looking forward to stuff. So I usually end up working a lot more than I probably should, but it's always very enjoyable. Nope, it wasn't a day off. Oh no, yeah. On the 15th. I had a day off on the 15th. Yes. Before that one, I think I might have taken a day off last year. The closest. Regardless though, let's take a look at the civilizations we get for game number 2. We're gonna have Hera play with the Portuguese. We're gonna have Capoch play with the Lithuanians. On the right hand side, the Bull player with the Portuguese will get a 20% gold discount on units in addition to 10% extra HP on Navy units. Besides that, we also have for the Portuguese 25% wood income from berries. In addition, for the team bonus, 30% faster research and upgrades. While if we take a look at Capoch's map, civilization bonuses, he's gonna get Lithuanians 150 extra food upon starting the game. He's gonna get with Lithuanians also 10% faster movement skirms, spearline units. In addition to 1 extra attack on Knights and Lycha units per each relic garrison, up to 4 relics, so up to +4 attack. The team bonus finally is going to give the Lithuanians also 20% faster working monasteries. That's good. We'll have a prime opportunity to go full monks, but I'll make the controversial guess and say that they probably won't. That seems about right to me as well. It feels like the players are probably going to want to play for water. And then maybe a little bit for land afterwards, but probably not full monks. I believe the Lithuanians, they get all the bonuses, if I'm not mistaken. Hera civilization, on the other hand, I think it's like an illumination only. We need monk boats. Reaching new frontiers with religion. Now also on water for your fishing trips. Because what's going to improve a fishing trip than to have a priest on a nearby boat just yell at you, persuasively trying to convince you to join the correct religion according to them. A good priest might be able to turn the lake into wine, so that's nice. We haven't taken a look at the map generation too much, so let's do that really quickly as the players are going out to the feudal age already. Starting with the Bull player, he's gonna have the main gold on the left-hand side. We have secondary gold on the right-hand side, kind of backish, which is good. The other secondary goal is going to be forward on the left-hand side, very far away. But this one is good, and because he's kind of close to the corner of the map, you could potentially go for some walls like this, from here towards the DC, and something like this, and secure the entire pond. But he is not going for it yet, and Capoch is actually sending a very sneaky villager over here. So before the villager gets to build a dock, let's take a look at Capoch's map generation, and we'll see for the red player. Then we have on the back the main goal. He's got a secondary goal on the back as well. He's kind of close to the corner of the map, and you can see that he's already been going for walls like this. All he's got to do is just connect the wool lines like this, and he's gonna be completely safe. And he does have a villager over there, if you can see it. So there's that. The stones, well, they'll be either part of the walls or forward. But yeah, that's going to be it. After he completely walls himself, he's going to secure several wool lines plus the entire lake, so that is good. And Hera's coming in. He's got the Minotaur's upgrades. Got 3 units moving on. Meanwhile, Capoch is trying to get the sneaky dock up, and Hera's got a fishing ship over there. I think he might not actually realize about the dock over here, depending on where Capoch locates the foundations, but Capoch is not paying attention over there because he's paying attention to the Minotaur's push. He was able to take the scout down. The Minotaurs are still roaming around though, and Hera can get a lot of damage over here. Now, Hera will actually get vision of this. He won't! He won't! By 1 tile, and now he's getting vision of it, and this is so lucky for Hera. We'll see how long it takes for him to actually realize about the dock, because getting vision of it doesn't mean that he will be aware his units got the vision, but if he was not paying attention to the minimap or the right hand side, he's not going to realize about it. And now he realizes about it. However, Capoch already has the first fire galley halfway through, and he's going for the second dock. Meanwhile, Hera is only now going for the first fire galley. So this is really good for Capoch. Hera can still try and hold on over here if he plays his cards right, roams around with the fishing ships a little bit, enough to get his own fire galley out without losing a single fishing ship. Then he might be in a position to hold on against Capoch. But of course, with the second dock over here, he's going to be either forced into a second dock, or he's going to have to give up on water. If he does give up on water, it's not going to be the end of the world, because he does have another dock up in the north. But yeah, it's certainly not ideal, as he will have to reinvest into the fishing ships. Yeah, and good defense for Capoch for the most part. He's looked good. First fishing ship going down for Hera. Seems like he's giving up on this. Yes, notice he does not have a single Navy unit coming out anymore. And if you take a look at Capoch did not lose a single bit of HP on those fire galleys, which means that the fire galley that Hera had queued earlier, he cancelled. So he is giving up on the water and just going for fishing up in the north instead. Capoch is getting away with a lot of damage to the right hand side. There we go. Minotaurs get cleaned up from Hera and Capoch. Capoch is looking good. Sure, Hera's gonna be the first player to go up to the Castle Age, but he had to absolutely tank his economy in order to do so. He sold a stone, so he won't be able to go for any extra TCs, and you can forget about the idea of a castle into organ guns. While Capoch, on the other hand, he will be on his way to the Castle Age very soon, but with a much stronger economy. At this point in time, 13 extra workers. By the time he gets there, the fact he's producing from 2 docks, he's producing fishing ships from 3 docks actually, now that he's gotten another dock up down the south. Capoch is bound to extend his worker lead substantially in the next few minutes, and Hera does not seem to have like a clear action course over here as to how to take this game. I mean, we know what he's planning to do, but I just don't see how this works, right? He's got double stable, so it's going to be full night production for him. And Capoch is completely walled off. I guess Capoch does have some walls a little bit too far away from his position, right? Like over here, this would be harder for him to wall, perhaps up here, we're gonna see this be a little bit too difficult for him to defend. Probably this is going to be the easier for Hera to breach through. We'll see. Yeah, and he's going for the knights right now. He's got bloodlines, but he can only go for one knight at a time. He's got 6 foot workers, guys. There's no way on earth that Hera will be able to sustain double stable production, even without queuing the TC. But then if he wants to queue the TC at the same time, then that's just not going to be in the picture right now for Hera. And here comes Capoch though with the archers. He's getting a villager down. It seems like he's going to be able to get at the very least one extra village down. If he places cards right, might actually be more than that. But the knight is here. He probably is going to end up losing the archers in the end. But this buys him a lot of time. It's going to be the castle age in 50 seconds. And Hera's using 4 scouts and 2 knights to take 4 archers down. Or 4 range units down from the fuel age from Capoch. So this is actually bought Capoch a lot of time. And as we see the Argentinian approach the castle age, you take a look at his economy, and he's in a much better shape to go for the same that Hera has been going for. The walls that he's gotten up, by the way, will guarantee 1 relic for Capoch. Check this out, by the way. Fire on the way for Capoch. He might end up pushing Hera out of this pond up in the north the same way that he pushed Hera out of his own back pond. And I was saying earlier, if there is going to be a game where Capoch will get a point in this series, it's gotta be game number 2. Because for game number 3 for Arena, it seems like it's going to be too rough for him no matter what civilization he ends up going for. So we'll see. There we go, the fire galley is already out, up in the north from Capoch. He's going to take the finish ships down from Hera, who is not even trying to go for a fire galley himself. And Capoch should be in a much better position. He's starting to go for the monks. He's starting to go for the knights. Got a good amount of knights right now. As a matter of fact, should be able to counter Hera's military with a monk. And the 5 knights he already has because of the defender's advantage. However, Hera's bringing a few extra units forward, and Capoch won't be able to do that anymore. I suppose one very rarely has non-rough games versus Hera. yeah. When Hera tries to commit too heavily. By the way, what was that villager? Changing positions over there. I'm gonna have to take a look at the game to see if that was just capture H or not. There we are. Yeah, I guess when Hera does decide to go for double stable, full knight production and 6 foot workers, then maybe that game is not going to be too difficult to survive on as his opponent. TC's coming out for Capoch, 30 TC's coming out for Capoch as well. And while we do have the conversions coming out from Hera, and Capoch still cannot take the engagement yet too confidently, he is making a play for light cavalry, so that's going to help. Has to be very frustrating to play him, even if you have a rather clear military edge. He can make magic happen with a smaller force. Yep, right now it's been very difficult for Capoch to defend over here, despite the fact that Hera's push was not particularly strong. The monks over here from Hera made the most difference. And Capoch was forced into a unit switch from knights over to light cavalry, so he's gonna try and collect the monks, but you know, with Hera's unit control, that's never going to be that simple. It's not going to be just splitting your light cavalry out of your main army and just trying to target the monks, right? They're going to be always protected by units if Hera is to... Yeah, you see, he's paying attention all the time. It's so difficult to take a good engagement. At the very least, Capoch's extra TC will allow him to get further ahead in villager count while he holds on against Hera's push. Capoch is going to throw this. We'll see. We'll see. We have extra light cavalry coming out. The 30C got cancelled, by the way. Conversion does not connect. But he does not get no one of the light cavalry, and here comes Capoch. He cannot do anything. Hera is in a huge feral position over here because of the freaking monks. It's just been so difficult for Capoch to take it, but he's gotten to. He's gotten to. And while we do hear a conversion come up over here, I think he might have gotten a light cavalry, so this is maybe the time for Capoch to finally push Hera's units away. If he comes out on top of the engagement over here, is going to be the one. The only one with military left is going to be the only one with momentum, but he cannot take the engagement yet. A lot of the light cavalry actually got converted in the end. And even if we have just one monk left for Hera. Do we have a monk left? We don't have any monks left over here anymore for Hera. Finally, Capoch was able to clean those units up. However, we do still have 19 freaking knights. Or Hera is going to take the TC down, and Capoch is going to start going for extra knights. He's going to be still looking much stronger compared to Hera. He's got all 4 pawns under his control. But he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. The engagement is going in favor of Hera. And not by a little bit, by a lot. Capoch could not take the engagement over there. He needed to wait until he got the numbers he needed to fend Hera's units off. And now, by rushing the engagement, or at the very least, not pulling the units out, Capoch ends up sacrificing the vast majority of his army, even ends up losing another knight to the conversions. And Hera is just in a much better position right now. His economy is finally strong enough for him to sustain knight production. He's producing from all 3 stables. And check this out! Hera is out of his mind, taking vill after villager. A parade of death. As Capoch walks towards the TC, just leaves a trail of death and blood. And while his work account is still significantly higher compared to Hera, the game is quite clearly not over, and Hera's given Capoch a run for his money. With a much smaller economy, he was able to get a much stronger army out. And now, yeah, Hera's still looking much stronger over here. He's underneath the TC, taking the engagement. He does not care about it. He will clean out the majority of the knights for the most part, and he's gonna try and take the TC down next. As he's bringing extra monks, he's got the possibility of sniping the units, or grabbing the units, snatching the units from Capoch, and add them to his own ranks as well, so that TC is finally going down. We do have a bunch of units over there, and pop goes Weasel. The monk's going to be exposed, both from Capoch, and he's unable to target any conversions on time, and those villages are just going down in the next few minutes. We have the monks from Hera. He's not making use of these. One of those is low faith, but the other one is full faith. However, it's not necessary. It's just going to kill the villagers. He's just going to absolutely barrel through the defenses of Capoch, and all of a sudden Hera finds himself only 13, actually only 12 population behind Capoch, despite having a much smaller, of course, worker count. And over 50% worker lead for Capoch right now. A lot of that's going to be efficient shifts, so that's bound to get very inefficient very quickly. Like right now, on the right hand side, these are going to go completely idle. Up in the north, these are going to have to travel a long distance. These on the left hand side are going idle, and Capoch is forced into fish traps, right? So it's a little bit of an illusion, the eco lead that Capoch has over here in Hera. Hera's actually in a pretty decent spot. So long as he's able to keep on producing the knights, so long as he's able to keep on producing the monks. And if he's able to keep up with his unit control in the last few minutes, Hera should be able to take game number 2. It just boggles my mind seeing the population difference in the last few minutes. Like, you would probably have expected Capoch to be able to take the game over here, right? But Hera is looking so much stronger right now. Conversion's coming up, and Capoch gets away with it. He doesn't now lose the monk, but Hera, of course, he's going to continue bringing more and more monks forward himself very soon. So what do we have left for Capoch? A single TC in the middle of nowhere. And a bunch of exposed economy elsewhere. Yeah, and then there is just going to be fish and chips. It's awful. Take a look at that economy from Capoch. The efficiency in the last minute has absolutely crumbled. 35% in the last minute compared to 75% for Capoch and Hera respectively. And while Capoch does have a much higher worker count, the actual worker time in the last minute is significantly lower compared to Hera's. And that's gonna be game, guys. If Capoch has not realized about this, he's gotta realize about it. And by the time he does, he's probably just going to call it. Because what do you do after this? How many villages went down over there? We can actually count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 villages have gone down over there. From the red player. Yeah, and he's bringing some monks, some knights over. Good luck against 7 freaking monks from Hera, and incredible gameplay, incredible performance from Hera. Was able to make the most out of seemingly very little earlier in the game. Put himself in a position where he's going to be the one with the most units, strongest army, the most monks, the most momentum. Yeah, and Capoch is bound to lose the villages, right? So I was surprised not to see Capoch call the GG as soon as he realized about all the villages going down on the right-hand side. He's gonna keep on trying for some reason. I imagine he's probably not expecting his chances on Arena to be particularly good, so maybe he's just trying to do whatever he can, whatever's under his power to take game number 2, so at the very least he gets 1 point in the series. Remember that Capoch and Hera, they were both tied for the first spot in Group B, Group C was it, right? They were both tied for the first spot, so whoever comes out on top over here is going to claim the first spot, and if Hera takes the series with a clean sweep, he's going to get a significant lead over the second spot. If Capoch can at the very least get a single game over here, it's going to be only a delta of 2 points. With Hera winning 1 and Capoch losing 1. It's just tilted for sure. It can be a combination of both. It can be a little bit of either, right? But it's you know, the writing is certainly on the wall right now, and I just don't see a way back for Capoch over here. Unless Hera's power goes out, you know, he's been having some energy issues where he's staying. I don't know if he's still in Argentina, but I think he was having some issues, right? Some power issues. Maybe something like that. But then again, Capoch is also in Argentina, so you never know. I think they are both in the same city. Regardless. Yeah, Capoch is going to call the GG over here. Well, it's gonna be 2-0 for Hera, and this does not surprise anyone who's been watching the game, especially in the last 15 minutes perhaps, but let's go through the achievements and wait for game number 3, the last one. It's going to take place on Arena. For military, a better KD for Hera. We're going to see for economy as well, a stronger economy for Capoch still. Towards the end of the game, he did manage to secure 400 additional resources compared to Hera close to it, but check this out. That was actually much stronger earlier in the game. Proportionally speaking, Capoch was on a much stronger lead around this area. Let's actually rewind a little bit. And over here, you can see that it was more like a 3,000 score lead in terms of resources collected over here for Capoch, or total amount of resources collected was significantly higher for Capoch. But Hera, just the wizard he is, was able to close the gap over here, bring the game back. And of course, at the end of the game, he was the one getting the villager lead. And it was just going to keep on getting worse and worse for Capoch by the minute, so yeah, any point after the goal rate would have been fine for Capoch to call the GG. With the goal rate, that's when Hera equalized in work count. From that point onwards, he started getting ahead. Imagine having another game after that if you have no confidence, that stuff. Yeah, I can't imagine Capoch's mind state right now to be particularly to be particularly positive, right? To have a particularly bright outlook into the series. And I kill him on his map. Wait, what? Let me update the draft information. So that was the Portuguese against the Lithuanians, right? Yes. And for the map, that was Cross going in favor of Capoch's home map, going in favor of Hera. Now we're going to have Arena. We're going to have Arena left with the Chinese, Turks, and Gujaras. For Hera, could go for the Turks and or the Gujaras, either one. Capoch is going to have Japanese, going to have Malay and Bengalis. He can go for Malay. He can go for Bengalis. I think it's probably going to be Bengalis versus Turks. That was my prediction, though, for one series before this one, and it was kind of off. So I'm not going to try and predict this time around. Let me see if there is a lobby. There is a lobby, yes. But it's going to take some time for the players to begin the game. Once both players join the lobby, I'm just going to get the commercial out of the way, because they are not really having any spec delay. And that way we can just jump into it right away. Right now, Hera is sitting there, and we are waiting for Capoch. $3-0 might be good for Jordan to take potentially the second spot. I think so. So this is what the standings are looking like right now. On Group C, Hera, Capoch, and Jordan, they are in first, second, and third place. Both of them have won both series they have played so far. Hera is +4, Capoch is +4, and Jordan is +2. Of course, amounting for the 2 games that we have seen so far, Hera would tentatively be +7 if he ends up getting the third game. Otherwise, +5 if he ends up losing the second game. And Capoch would be +1 if he lost game number 3. And that would effectively knock him down under Jordan, who is +2 after the second series. And if Capoch were to win game number 3, then he would be only going down by 1 point, right? So that'll be that'll be +3, and Hera would be +5. And that would still keep Capoch in the second spot. Then Ganji, Miguel, and Kingston, those players are going to be further down the standings, right? Ganji is 4th, Miguel 5th, Kingston 6th. Both players have lost both series they have played so far, and the scores are -2, -4, and -4 for Ganji, Miguel, and Kingston, respectively. After this series, and after this game, rather, we're going to have another series come up. It's going to be Hera versus Miguel. And if Hera were to take game number 3 versus Capoch and were to get a clean sweep against Miguel, he's got the possibility of getting to +10, the highest, not only in his group, but the highest, period. Nobody has that score yet. However, it would be possible for either ACCM in Group A, Mr. Yo in Group B to get to +10. They would have to get clean sweeps on the 4th sets themselves. Let's go, guys. The game's here. And we are live. Hera playing with the Turks and Capoch is playing Malay. No Bengalis, right? I think Bengalis was the other choice for Capoch. He's playing Malay over here. I don't know. I'm just liking the Turks over here better. And it's interesting to see how the meta evolves. Like, not too long ago, Malay used to be considered like S tier. And now I think they're probably considered more like A+ or A tier. And the Turks are going to be up instead in S tier alongside the Bohemians, alongside the Poles, perhaps. Maybe the Britons. The Britons I'd say are probably somewhere between S and A tier. And Capoch, well, with the Malay, yeah, the Burgundians used to be considered much stronger than they are right now as well. And the meta, it just evolves. And it's incredible to see a 20-year-old game still evolving. More than 20 years, actually, 24 years old. 23 years old. 24 later this year. 23 years old games still evolve. With consistent support and whatnot. It's fantastic. If you assume S tier is only Bohemians and Turks, Malay are A+, otherwise A, otherwise S. If you consider the Burgundians, then Britons, so on to be S. Right. Yeah. I guess even clowns are probably going to disagree on exactly what a clear civilization tier would be for Arena. Especially with the interactions between different civilizations. Obviously, no civilization is going to be invincible against every other civ, of course. Even inter-tier civs. But we can say with confidence that Turks should be, at the very least, on paper, better suited than Malay, this matchup over here on this map, right? And if Drakent is accurate in saying that Capoch is probably one of the weakest close map players around this elo range, then this might actually be a little bit rougher even for Capoch. So I guess we are going to see, right? Then wasn't it Hera who we saw lose not too long ago? A technically better matchup. We'll see. Regardless though, let's introduce the civilization. Starting with Hera, he's gonna play with Turks and he's gonna get 25% faster working gold miners. He gets 25% extra HP on gunpowder units in addition to the light cavalry and hazard upgrades for free. Those units will get +1 pierce armor, and he also gets chemistry in addition to a 50% discount on gunpowder upgrades. The team bonus, finally for Turks, will allow them to train gunpowder units actually 25% faster. In Capoch's civilization, instead, will have 66% faster resurgent ages. It's gonna get an addition to that. And I'm just getting a blackout right now. Come on, the Malay. 30 or 40% cheaper battle elephant line units in the castle and Imperial Ages, and then the rest is going to be for water. Okay, there we go. That's it. That's it for both civilizations. Regardless though, what is Hera's approach to the game going to be over here? We have seen in the past Turks have several ways of playing the game. And Hera right now seems to be aiming for standard economy from what I can see. And Capoch on the other hand, well, Capoch playing with the Malay over here, usually you're gonna see the Malay play one or either way, either for feudal economy into fast-ish castle or standard fast castle. At the beginning, fast-ish castle or fast feudal into full economy into fast-ish castle was actually favored by a bunch of players, but it since fell out of favor. So anything other than a fast castle for Capoch over here feels to me like it's not going to be good. So it's hard to say. If you count like 8 civilizations to be S tier, then you somewhat dilute the meaning. Yeah, exactly. Burgundians only in 1v1 in my opinion. Oh yeah, you know, that is true. When is the last time that we had an arena team tournament? Yeah, the interactions, they completely change for team games as well, as they're going to be complemented civilization as opposed to relying on individual strength. Well, I mean, of course, the individual strength is going to be part of complementing the civs, right? But you can mix and match civilizations that otherwise it wouldn't be too strong on arena, right? Like you can have the Spanish for the faster trading, Of course, the Bohemians with the faster market are also going to be very strong for team games as well, but yeah. Village is here for Hera, and he's gonna go out to the Castle Age, and it's going to be a standard economy play by the looks of it. Capoch, on the other hand, is gonna get to the Castle Age a little bit earlier. And it seems like he's going to play for standard economy over here as well. Yes. It's gonna be a game for the late. Here we go! Castle Age on the way for Hera. Wow. That was really good. He actually rushed the buildings and getting 1 second of idle TC time and clicked up to the Castle Age. Let me take a look at the ping between both these players, because I think Hera might actually still be in Argentina. Yes, he is. As a matter of fact, 60 ping for Hera, 53 for Capoch, both playing to the Brazilian server. And I don't know how long he's going to stay, but I know that Argentina is going to be always more than happy to take most anyone in. And there we go, Capoch, despite clicking out to the Castle Age later, does manage to go there significantly sooner. On a, what is it, 17-second lead? Not very high. But he'll be there. He's got enough resources to go for the second TC, does not have enough resources right now to go for the third TC. Still find it silly to put S over A. A is the first letter. Let's start with that one. Yeah, I never really quite got why S tier is like super or what. Because if you're, and I'm really sure who actually came up with that convention. It'd be weird if it were the Americans, because they have grades that go up to A only, right? Like you can get A. That's the highest grade you can get, maybe plus plus. It's so weird. For us, we just have from 1 to 10. Regardless though, the second TC is up for Hera. He does not have the resource to go for the third TC, but he is going for a monastery. Meanwhile, Capoch is going for the third TC and completely neglects the relics. So Hera will be the one collecting all 5. At the very least, right now, it seems like he's going to be the one to collect all 5. And Capoch is going for full economy. He already got ahead by about 4 villagers just by virtue of his civilization researching the next stage significantly quicker. So there is that. And then on top of that, having the extra TC will allow him to keep on getting further and further ahead in economy as well. And I guess the question becomes then, what does Capoch do with a stronger economy? With the Malay going out to the Imperial Age earlier, perhaps? Against the Turks? Well, he's got to try and suppress Hera before the Bull player is able to get to a good economy himself, before he's able to get to the Imperial Age, he's able to get all the upgrades he needs for his camel and cavalry archer army. So I'm not exactly positive what exactly Capoch is going to go for, but I know that he's got to put pressure. Earlier rather than later. Within the late stage of the game, that is, of course. But there we go. Hera is coming out the gate to collect the first relic, and while Capoch has scouting information over here, and he sees the relic disappear, he's gonna try and go to the monk right now, but he's not gonna be able to get it though. But is he gonna be able to though? The monk's coming in! Yes! The scout is coming out, so the monk's going down. However, Capoch is going to remain trapped, and this will actually allow Hera to go out and collect the relics pretty easily next. Because we don't have any extra scouts from Capoch. The only one he's got strapped right now. I don't think that was worth it, but he was trying to prevent the relic from coming in, right? Anyway, Hera's collecting the first one. He is in no hurry. I probably would have liked for him to just try and go and collect the ones outside, because this one was already kind of guaranteed. So maybe just try and go get the farthest one. But he's going to end up collecting these anyway. He's got 2 relics in already. He's sending the monks out, so he's going to collect 2 additional relics. He's finally going for the 3rd TC, so he's going to try and at the very least prevent Capoch from getting further ahead in villager counts. Capoch has already managed to get a 11 villager lead. But yeah, I would say I'm liking Hera's position still. Why? Because if you amount for all 5 relics, Hera is actually going to compensate for 6 out of the 11 villagers he is falling behind by right now. If you were to go for a 4 TC, should be able to catch up pretty easily. Otherwise, getting wheelbarrow over here is still going to be pretty effective right now. He's got about 26 farmers. So that's going to kind of amount to 5 extra farmers compared to Capoch's economy, assuming that we have a comparable amount of farmers for both these players. In reality, Capoch does have extra farmers. So Hera's kind of catching up once again. Yeah, wheelbarrow is certainly going to be very, very effective for Hera, and I think it's going to be enough for them to have a somewhat equal economy. As a matter of fact, we can actually take a look at it. If we take a look at the gather economy time. Oh, handcards coming up now for Hera. That is beautiful to see. But yeah, we take a look at the economy right now. In Capoch, he's got close to an hour of extra gather economy time. We take a look at the actual resources collected. We'll see that Capoch has collected about 1,300 extra resources. Remember that, 1,300 extra resources. We're going to take a look at it once again. A couple minutes down the line. Going to take a look at the gather economy time as well. And we'll see if it's remained constant. If my math is correct, Hera should be able, for the most part, prevent Capoch from getting too far away. Of course, Capoch is going up to the Imperial Age. By the time Hera gets to the Imperial Age, well, the difference is going to change once again, because Capoch researches the next stage earlier and thus is not going to have as much of an impact on his villager count. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. Hera is the one to go for pressure the first, though. He's got a ram coming out already, and he ended up collecting all 5 relics. Where's the 5th one? Yeah, there we go. He's bringing it back home. He's bringing it home. Let's see a conversion coming up as Capoch. He's got a bunch of villagers outside the walls. He's gonna be careful. He's gonna try and convert the spearmen so that he can take the villagers down with the light cavalry. But Capoch has gotten already to the Imperial Age. Yeah, this is a little bit too risky from the red player. So we see the conversions coming out. It's going to be 1 pikeman, 2 pikemen getting converted. 2 pikemen still from the red player. In the end, seems like Capoch should be able to defend the villagers over here with the pikemen that he's got left. But Hera will end up pushing him away anyway. There we go. Yeah, and Hera is a little bit more cautious compared to Capoch. He's coming into the walls, but he's keeping the gate open. He's gotta be careful. The scout's going down. The mountain is probably going down, but Capoch is starting to take a lot of losses. Guys, Hera is only 6 workers behind. Of course, he still needs to click out to the cat, to the Imperial Age, rather. It's probably a good time to check the gather economy time, the total resources collected this far for both these players. Let's see. Okay, it's 40 minutes of extra gather economy time for Capoch. Is not quite as high as it was before. And we take a look at the resource. It used to be a 1,300 resource lead for Capoch. Now, it's only 350 or so. So Hera is catching up, and the eco upgrades are definitely to thank for this. The relics are to thank for this as well. The villager count has not been equalized yet, but still Hera's economy is significantly more efficient because of the upgrades. And Capoch might be in the Imperial Age, but he's got little to nothing to show for it, and that's some great shots from Hera. Taking the crossbows. Capoch is trying to go after the Mangonel, but Hera with his Castle Age army over here is actually getting so much damage done. He's taking the archer range down, forcing extra investments for Capoch. And take a look at this. Hera's resources right now are actually strong enough for him to click up to the Imperial. They just gotta use the market to balance his economy in. Very soon he's gonna have enough resources to go for a castle himself as well. And the last 5 minutes have largely gone in favor of Hera. Not even close. Stronger population right now for the Canadian. There definitely seems to be a struggle of sorts for Capoch on this map, at the very least in this instance. So there is something to Draken's inside over there. There might be something to Draken's inside. Yeah, and Hera, who is, don't get me wrong, no arena mastermind himself. Not going to be a top tier arena player, right? Is actually having a pretty convincing game against Capoch. He's going for more monks. He's gonna try and clown this out. Yes, sir. He's getting the conversions. And Capoch is going to get the mana down, so that is not ideal. This could be really bad for Capoch. It's gonna be really bad for Capoch. That's a lot of villages exposed. A little bit of a friendly shot over there, friendly fire from the mana, but that's still going to result in a bunch of villagers going down, and the castle getting denied. And Capoch on 110, falling behind by 22 population against Hera, has on paper the technological lead just by being in the Imperial Age, but has not been able to take advantage of it at all. Hera is looking so much better right now. Even if Capoch is somewhat stabilizing, Hera is not going to stop putting more pressure. He's got a castle up. He's got Janissaries in the way now. Just going to be very nice as well. Seems like the castle might actually come up for Capoch. Once again, Hera can go up to the Imperial Age. Anytime he takes a look at the resources, he can just use the market and buy his way up. He's got the mana lane, the mana is going down, and now Capoch is gonna keep on trying to get the castle up. It's going up to 90%. We have the mana coming around from Hera. Doesn't seem like he's gonna be able to get it there on time though. So the castle comes up. Hera finally uses the market to go up to the Imperial Age and ends up getting pushed away from Capoch's space, but this is only buying Capoch a little bit more time. Hera's economy is much more efficient, is much stronger in numbers right now with 29 extra workers, and his position around the map is not too shabby. You know, Hera might have gotten pushed away in Capoch's space, but he does end up going out to the Imperial Age himself. So long as Capoch is unable to take or to get some momentum over here against Hera before the Bull player gets to the Imperial Age, I just don't see a way back for Capoch. I guess we're going to find out. How are the other games looking? You mean what the prospects are for the next few series, or how have the games looked for games 1 and 2? You can probably get an idea by taking a look at the scoreboard. And by the way, hey Luca. Hi. Is this Luca the player, by the way? I think I might have asked this before. Anyway, Yeah, like cavalry now for Hera, and of course, the moment he gets to the Imperial Age with the Turks is getting Hazar for free. And Capoch does not have Halberdier yet, so Pikeman alone won't be quite as good against the Hazar. Both? Let's get 2-0 and I want to know what comes next. So yeah, well, the first two games they were interesting. They were interesting, but you can see the result already in the scoreboard. And then the next series is going to be live as well, and it's going to be Hera against Miguel. So Hera's playing 2 series back-to-back live today. Okay, there was a pause. Power outage. It's just going to be my go-to excuse. So long as Hera stays in Argentina. Yeah. He says second, be right back. Hera says. So he actually was the one to pause the game. We're going to have to wait for a moment over here. So in this situation, what can Capoch do? What is a combat condition for Capoch? And you guys help me out because I don't see one. Maybe if he's able to clutch Halberdier, he's very close, right? He's got almost enough resources. He's got almost enough gold. If he's able to go for Halberdier and defends the trebuchets, then the Hazar from Hera won't be able to take the siege down. And Hera is going for Janissaries, but he's got a single castle, right? So he cannot really produce too many. So if this guy scrambles from Hera, and let's take a look to see if Capoch is aware of it. Yeah, Capoch knows about it. If this one crumbles from Hera, then he's not going to be able to go for Janissaries to clutch it against the Halberdier. However, he could potentially make a play for Archer Ranges and go for Hand Cannoneer, given the fact that he gets chemistry for free, right? Yeah, Hera is going to have Bombard Cannons as well, so the Hazar are not going to be strong enough to take on the trebuchets, but we could potentially see the Bombard Cannons. That's a fair point. He hasn't queued it up yet, and as a matter of fact, I don't think he's got another siege workshop besides this one, besides the one that he's building. So that might be the reason why he has not queued them up yet. But I think Capoch puts pressure up over here, and he goes for a third trebuchet right here. He's not going for the trebuchet though. He's going for chemistry instead. He can go for his own bombard cannon, so of course he won't get access to artillery. He can only go up to 13 range with siege engineers compared to the Turks, who can go up to 14. And I would say Capoch should probably be able to still take the castle down, even if he ends up losing some of the trebuchets himself. But even then, Hera does have 2 additional castles on the way, so he can go for Janissaries afterwards. Yeah, the right hand side. Bunch of Hazar coming forward from Hera. Let me take a look to see if we have any information regarding the pause. Nope, nothing. Hera said second, be right back, and Capoch said yes. And that's all that we know from a few minutes ago. How are the relics? I think it'll be a long game, unless some crazy shenanigans. The relics are looking better for Hera. He's the only player with relics right now. He's got an all 5, as a matter of fact. Yeah, 5-0. Not particularly promising for Capoch. I'll tell you. Today's series are taking a little bit longer, by the way, compared to the usual. I think I remember last week there was one stream where we cast 3 sets in pretty much 4 hours, although I think that might have been just recorded games. This time around we are getting to 4 hours for 2 sets, so it's going to be a little bit longer. 2 days ago we had 4 series and it took 6 hours for us to cast the 4 series. So today we have a little bit more downtime. I'm really sure if I'm going to cut this off the YouTube video or not. The pause, because we did discuss the game a little bit. But yeah, I'm not really sure actually what the issue is with Hera. Let me see if there's any information, perhaps, in the broadcaster chat. Not quite. However, there is a piece of news, actually.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Game continues. The monastery is forward. Yeah, that is true. That is true. It'll be beneficial for Hera to go for a monastery and just take the relics back. But yeah, there is a little bit of news. Miguel is actually late. He's gonna be 15 to 20 minutes late due to an emergency. So it seems like we're gonna have to wait a little bit more for the third series. The guy? Miguel? Right. It's gonna be the third series of the day. We're gonna have to wait probably about half an hour before we get to see it, but yeah, we'll certainly catch up with it. Hera has gone for a theory already. He's got Elite Janissaries right now. Iron Casting, he's got Blast Furnace on the way. Yeah, and the Bombard Cannons already get the extra range. Capoch researched chemistry, but I'm not really sure if he got siege engineers actually. What is the Bombard Cannon? He's training it, you know. Oh man, but the pressure from Hera is strong. The Bombard Cannon finishes training over there as we see Hera go onto the trenches right away. He's getting a beautiful surround. And he will take... The trebuchet is down. That's 800 resources. Oh! This one actually survives. 10 HP. 400 resources down the drain for Capoch for the trebuchet, right? But Hera did end up taking a lot of losses himself over there. Might have lost about 20 Hussars, so it's also going to be very expensive for him, even if it's just food. Some good shots coming in from Hera. The attack rounds are on point. We're on point. Still in a fantastic position though. Yes. Still 700 to 800-ish if you include repair costs. Yeah, that's a good point. The trebuchet had gone down to almost completely destroyed, so it's going to be a good chunk of extra resources going down to the repairs. Gas crumbles. And this gas foundation is not good. It's going down, and Capoch does not realize. But the Bombard Cannons on time does end up losing the foundations over there, and Hera is preparing to meme guards. He's got Bombard Towers on the way. Well, I say memeing, but with the Turks, it's actually a pretty legit strategy, so he's just preparing to seal the deal, to lock the game. As Capoch starts to get past 170 population, Hera's going to be pretty much locked at 200 pop himself already. I'm going to see the Bombard Towers start coming up very soon. And the great thing about Hera is he doesn't need to go for the towers extremely aggressively. Like if he went for one tower over here, for instance, that'll be already enough for him to push the villagers away from gold. And even if he cannot collect it himself, if he can collect his own gold while preventing Capoch from collecting Capoch's gold, then Hera gets overall more resources. Miguel's a 3-0 for Hera? We'll see, we'll see. Sometimes we do get surprised by those sets. Seemingly extremely one-sided ones. Is this enough range actually? I don't think so. Ah, close, but not enough. See, there we go. Beautiful. He's finally going for the towers that will decidedly deny the gold over here. This gas is going down in a moment as well, so you gotta love to see the Bombard tower play from Hera. Surround the Arbalists over here and Capoch. Capoch has actually been able to keep a very high population overall. He's gonna start going pretty heavily into Halberdier. But Hera's got 5 castles to produce Janissaries with. He should be able to go for just full Janissaries from this point onwards, and Capoch is going to struggle to balance his military in a way that's going to allow him to fight the Janissaries off, even if he's got some Arbalisters. Precisely because of Hera's Bombard Cannon, so Janissaries and Bombard Cannons on their own might actually be enough. Oh, this is not good for Capoch, so if Hera plays his cards right, brings the Bombard Cannons, this is what I was talking about! Oh, that was so close! Gotta be careful, Hera! If he can force those crossbows, or actually the Arbalisters now, into a choke point, then the Bombard Cannons, they get exactly that! Good shots! He's going for one more, he's gotta be careful though, he's getting too close to the sun. He's getting some beautiful shots, and if those were Hubnitsa from Hera, he probably would have completely flattened Capuch's army out. In the end, doesn't end up taking a bunch of the units down anyway, and Capuch is gonna be left only 12 Arbalisters right now. And the Bombard Tower is coming in from Hera over here, completely denying resources from Capoch. Even the ones inside the walls, the gold. Completely out of reach for Capoch. On the left hand side is extremely exposed. For Capoch, he's got 2 gold left. He's going for full Halberdier only. Which means, once again, that if Hera is to go for just Janissaries alone right now, he's got 5 castles to work with. Well, I don't see a way back for Capoch, right? Like, even skirmishers are going to get countered by the Bombard Cannon, so Hera, once again, should find himself in a pretty good position just by going for Janissaries and Bombard Cannons right now. He's not really producing any units though. What is Hera trying to do? Is he just trying to win this by pure Bombard Tower? That'd be interesting. And practical as hell. But that'd be interesting for sure. Maybe some sort of retaliation over Capoch not calling the GG earlier in the previous games. I don't know. Capoch is going for elite skirmishes right now though. All those units where you can bank resources. He's actually getting away with this for the most part. Yeah, I don't really understand what Hera's approach is over here. Is he trying to win with the least effort possible? Is he trying to win with the fewest possible units? I mean, take a look at that economy. Oh, hold on. No, wait, hold on. Is he gonna try and delete all his villagers and go for 200 military? He's selling food for gold. He's buying stone. Capoch selling food himself as well. That can be, right? 45 walls coming up for Hera. I mean, he's pretty much open. He's boosting KD. I mean, I guess. I don't know if he will lose any more units just because he went for more. As a matter of fact, it'll be easier, right? It's a pure one bar tower play? Might be. Yeah, might be. My lord. Yeah, Capoch calls it GG. I mean, it works. That was weird. Hera could definitely have just taken this game much earlier. I don't know what this would mean from a sportsmanship point of view. But they would expect the players to try their hardest, to try their best at all times, right? And this, I would certainly say, is not that case. I don't know that there was anything about that for TTL. Regardless, though, that was an interesting strat from Hera. Doesn't that working out? He does take the game. And taking a look at the achievements then one more time for the series. We'll see Hera, the better KD, surpassing 5-3. Well, for economy, he does end up collecting about 22,000 extra resources. Society, on the other hand, we're going to see for villager max count, a higher number for Hera, collecting about 10 extra villagers, creating about 10 extra villagers, or getting up to 10 higher extra villagers compared to Capoch. Although at the end, he did go down to 138, right? So he ended up losing about 13 villagers. For Capoch, on the other hand, he ended up losing 50 villagers. Sharp. Just